Hello, mate. Back again.
Yeah, how you doing, guys? I'm good.
All
Good,
good,
you?
mate. All good. I was just saying that we're slightly earlier today because I've got a massage with Julian, and you've been to him before, right? It's all
Absolutely, yeah.
scraping
Grass,
technique.
Graston.
That's it.
Everybody thinks it hurts because it causes a lot of bruising and whatnot. But for me, it was pretty fine, to be fair. But I only had it around my pec and shoulder and upper back. Could do with it on my quads, to be fair.
Tell you what, the quads is the thing
Yeah,
that,
I was going to
and
say
the
that's where
IT,
I need it doing.
the IT band is fucking awful.
Mm.
And normally, like the bigger the muscle, the more it hurts. So,
Yeah.
like a shoulder is not going to hurt as bad as
Yeah.
for example, like your mid back or like your quads. That hurts a lot more. And I was just saying, Ryan,
Calves is the
I was just about
worst.
to say, cars is the worst. Yeah,
Yeah.
cars.
I was just saying to Ryan as well, like, because
Not up
I
my
don't like it to
calves.
hurt. I don't like it to hurt too much. But I said to him, the thing is, when you're more muscular, the tissue is obviously denser, so you need to get deeper.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's gonna hurt.
very true.
Do you really feel the difference, Craig, after you've been?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of swelling around the area and a lot of blood gets to the area. And to be fair, my shoulder definitely has been better since I've been to him. I've only been once in the last, since before Mr. Universe, really.
So you were nursing, if I remember rightly, you had like bad elbows and bad shoulder? Or is
Yeah, it's
it all as well?
probably all interlinked, I imagine. But all my injuries seemed to go during my last prep. Like I had golfer's elbows, I had a sore left shoulder, tight quads. Everything seemed to just calm down when I went into prep, and that's probably just due to less inflammation throughout the body. Obviously due to less food. Your mobility gets better, etc. Using better range of motion.
I was
But yeah,
watching one of my squats,
literally a week post prep, everything came back. I'm like, oh,
mate. Yeah, as soon as you put that water weight back on,
yeah, yeah.
I was watching one of my. It came up on my It's like, what is it like on Facebook, like memories, right? It came up like 5 years ago, like squatting, and me just like that. I'm like that under the bar. Fuck, I would kill for that mobility now, right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So for people watching this, who might be going through, because I know I speak to plenty of people with like golfers, a tennis elbow, and things like that. What would be your go-tos for getting over that?
You know what? I had golfer's elbow for about 8 months. I think it's literally just the old rest ice. Ibuprofen. If you can get hold of it, get the what's the other painkiller called that I give you?
Oh, naproxen.
Naproxen.
It was yeah.
Take naproxen and it feels like you're brand new. But
Don't
you
really want to take that
massive.
post workout because
Yeah.
you kind of want that information.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
that's the thing. How does it interact with?
Yeah, they do say it blunts protein synthesis, don't they?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So you want that away from that window, but as a whole, a lot of people go, use BPC or use this or do this or do. End of the day, right? Nothing's gonna help. You're just gonna let. You're just gonna let it rest.
Yeah, yeah.
that's what I was just about to say. So that people have always got their own opinions, but it's basically just the thing that makes it worse. Don't do that. That's
Basically,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the one thing that actually sorted my shoulder out. I think at the time, I think it was incline Smith bench press that was doing the damage. As soon as I took that out of my workout, it just seemed to suddenly get better. Now, it might have been coincidence. It might have been that exercise. I'm not quite sure. But
So many clients over the years, and I say just don't do that, and they still do it.
yeah,
And I'm like, did you take a break from that bit? And they're like, no. I've got a client now. Got Rob Smith.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, he really struggles to do nothing. Like he must have an overactive brain. Like
Yeah.
the idea, if I say to him, have an extra rest day, oh my god, it's like
Yeah, I've got a couple of clients that are the same. I have to actually actively tell them or ask them on the check-in how many days rest have you had this week, and it's like,
but then I bet
take a
we
day's
all used
rest.
to do that. We've been through that
Yeah,
stage of I
yeah,
need to train every day, and I remember like back when I first started training. I would walk to the gym because obviously I was at 16, I didn't drive. I would walk to the gym, which was like a mile and a half. So people won't really get that, like Ryan. So I used to live in Swabling, and I would walk there to town, which that's what, like a good two
that's what
mile.
down Thomas Lewis Way.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Walk that, right? Into town, I would train. I would do half an hour of fucking cardio, hard cardio on the stairs, and I walk back. And I was wondering, why am I not gaining weight? Well, no fucking shit, you're not gaining weight. It's like,
Yeah.
Like this idea. I think a lot of newbies will assume more is better. And I think over the years, and I think we can all agree on this, it's like you realize more isn't better, better is better, right?
Yeah.
So optimize what you're doing whilst you're in the gym, but then also realizing that just volume on top of volume isn't fucking any good. And if you follow that trail of logic, right? If everyday training's good, well, surely 2 sessions a day is better. Well, okay, we have 2 session days. Well, what where does that stop? Go 3 sessions a day, 4 sessions a day, 5. That logic is so flawed if you just keep following that logic. So unless
remember, sorry to interrupt you, remember, because I just forget. Do you remember that time I was like, I'm going to train arms every day, and I put that on Facebook.
oh, yeah.
Like you were trying to argue back with me. You're like, this is like stupid. I'm like, what do you know? I mean, you're an idiot. You know what you're talking about. I was like,
yeah, I mean that's what I mean.
Did it come from Rich Piana by any chance?
maybe. I
What
had
was
a
it? It
stage
was like a
that.
10-hour arm day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
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 I'm like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to train arms every day. And he's like, you're like, no, that you shouldn't do that. That's not really a good idea. I was just like, what do you know? I was like, you don't know.
Your arms are shit anyway.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That logic is flawed. Like, if 20 sets in a session is good, well, surely 30 is better, 40 is better, 50 is better. Where does it end? So I think people need to. I remember someone said, Julian Fernandez said to me once upon a time, he's like, focus. I can't remember the line he said, but yeah, in a nutshell, it's just like focus.
I remember that. Do it better, not
do more. Focus on doing. I'm going to butcher it, but yeah, in a nutshell, do the things that you're doing fucking immaculately rather than thinking about doing loads of them, you know?
Yeah.
And it's some people you just can't tell though. Some people are just stuck in the ways and won't change for shit. You know, I've had clients like that. You've tried to tell them and they just don't get it.
I bet you've got clients that as well. I know you have because we talk about it, but like, so they join you and then they kind of undermine you. So they buy into your service and you tell them what to do with your vast knowledge and vast experience, and then they just go and do the other what they want to anyway.
Yeah, it's like, well, should we do this? I'm just going to do this. I'm just like, it's not in the plan. So no, I suggest we don't do that.
It's a thing where you grow out of that, but that just takes years of training. Like I said, a lot of that stuff, I've been through that myself, that I can sort of say where I've had that, and I'll speak to Ryan about something. I'm not now, but like back 4, 5, 6 years ago, I'll say, "Oh, I'm going to do this," and you'll go, "That's not a good idea." I'm like, "I'm going to do it anyway." And what do you know? So,
what's the point in getting the opinion?
Well, I think there's value in it. I think there's value in doing it yourself and realizing, oh fuck.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes us good coaches, because we've been down them roads and realised that, you know, that doesn't work. So we don't pass it then on to our clients, do we?
I think a lot of like new age coaches, like let's say they've not been training particularly very long, but they know sciencey words, right? And all the fancy exercises. Yeah. You haven't walked if you haven't got the mileage behind you, I don't know. You need to have tried and tested a lot of different methods.
Absolutely.
And ultimately, we've made mistakes, and now we can make other people not make the same mistakes. You know, we've done it ourselves. So,
like that idiot that you sent us on a group that was like, "Oh, yeah, you shouldn't start with dumbbells and barbells. You should start with machines." And it's like, mate, that's backwards.
Yeah.
So let's expand a little bit on that. So a client, he was an ex-client of mine actually. He's actually a really nice dude to us. But yeah, he said, when you guys started,
Who is it? Who was it? I can't remember now.
His name's Ross Lyon.
Right.
Ross Lyon. But we actually got on really well when he was being coached by me, and he said, he made a statement on his reel. He said, when you go, you know, when you see newcomers in the gym and they're told to do the basics like barbell row, squat, deadlift, bench, it's probably the worst piece of fucking advice. This is what he said. The worst piece of advice. What fucking planet have you got to be on to think that's the best advice? You're risking injury. You're risking poor movement patterns. You're risking blah blah blah. Blah. So, what's your guys' opinion on thinking that's a bad idea?
Well, we went over on a group, didn't we?
I know, but for the purpose of
sure, yeah. First of all, yeah, if you're a beginner, who the fuck gets injured when you're first starting out? You're not strong enough to get injured.
Definitely, if you're bench pressing with like 50 kilo, the likelihood of getting injured on 50 kilo on a bench press is pretty small.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So Craig, what would you say to that? What would you say to someone who is like new to the gym and they've got an option of either learning the basics or going through like isolation movements on cables and things like that.
It's obvious, isn't it, that you've got to go to free weights first. But what I would say is, if you're unsure on movements, form, etc., then either look on YouTube or get a personal trainer, a decent personal trainer, of course, because obviously exercises like squats, deadlifts are dangerous. But like Chud said there, if you are starting out, you're probably not going to be using much weight. But you want to teach your body how to do something correctly from the get-go. So then when you do get strong, you're still doing it correctly and you don't actually end up getting injured. Because you'll find that, say some guy can deadlift, 140, then they're going to end up basically putting the back out if obviously they've learned bad technique from the beginning.
But what the irony is, have you ever seen like a baby or a toddler pick something up? When they squat down, they squat with
natural
perfect technique.
pattern.
Yeah.
It's funny, we actually learn bad habits as we become adults.
Yeah.
But actually, in principle, we know how to do it. We learn, like, it's almost like our body tries
I think it's through sitting down a lot as well. Obviously, everybody has tight hip flexors, etc. Tight glutes.
That's where massage helps to loosen them up.
Yeah. How often do you get massage?
Well, me.
Well, both of you.
Probably once every 3 weeks, I'd say, for myself. I should go more often, but yeah, it's just finding the time. And yeah, I'm always changing the people that actually massage me as well. I never stick to one. I actually contacted somebody a few weeks ago, and after I saw Jimmy Tonk had used them, he was based in Stockport. I thought, well, he must be good if Jimmy Tonk's travelled that far to get a massage, and he quoted me 90 quid for an hour. Oh, yeah. I was like, you can get fucked for that. You can't
pay 40 quid. And
yeah.
I guess it depends on the masseuse then, but like I haven't skipped a single week, apart from like if you go on holiday or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or if he's on holiday, but I haven't skipped in 2 years. And I noticed a big difference. And I know, it's one of them things that you kind of have to like keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they'll wait till they get injured and they'll go, well, now I'm going to go get a massage.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not how it works. It's more so, let's get let's say take hip flexors. Let's make sure we address the hip flexors so they're loose and so then you don't get injured.
So if you go every week, do you alternate between upper and lower body?
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Or depending on if there's an area that needs addressing.
Yeah. Because there's no way they can do full body in one session, is there?
I tell you what, in prep or when I diet, I actually tend to go twice. I go twice a week. So I'll split it into an upper and a low.
See, I find in prep, like I just don't get tight or at all, really. So it's kind of like I probably need it less.
Yeah, do you know what
I said before, because there's less water in the joints, isn't there?
I totally agree on that one, Greg. So every time I go into osteo, as soon as I start eating, I start getting that I had spondylosis. So my nerve canal in my upper spine. Every time I start eating more, I start feeling it. So it's like inflammation around the joints or whatever. Yeah, I always feel it. And as soon as I'm in prep, the issues start to go away a little bit.
You feel like it's not about exactly how much you're eating. It's more to do with what you are eating. So obviously, cheat meals are more often, aren't they, in the off season?
And just a higher amount of food, like lots of carbohydrates is inflammatory.
Well, it's going to attract water, isn't it? At the end of the day. So
I mean,
actually, by nature, carbohydrates are inflammatory to the body. So if you eat, especially eating the amounts we do,
well, think about what is your natural body weight. How much above that you are. Like my body, I think would probably be under 100 kilos if I didn't do what we did. So the fact I'm walking around,
I'd say you'd be less than that. To be fair, right?
Maybe.
There's no way you'd sit at 16 stone, is there? Really, realistically,
I think. So when I was like back in the day, I was always hovering around 90 to 95.
Right.
But that was when I was training.
Right. Yeah, but without the training.
Without the training, probably be So the fact that I'm walking around at 130 plus, just like there's going to be issues.
Yeah. Of course,
there's going to be issues, and your body doesn't necessarily discriminate between. Well, it does a little bit, but between fat and muscle. Fact of the matter is, I'm 130 kilos.
Yeah.
And that's a strain on the heart and it's a strain on the joints, no matter what distribution of body fat you've got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In fact, I think
organs, isn't it?
I think if you're fat, there's a higher chance of you actually being more athletic than if you're hypermuscular.
Well, yeah. So you're muscle bound. Yeah, for sure. I wonder how that would be if you could get two people who are like brothers, and they're like.
I think, like, for example, your shoulder mobility. A lot of it is down to, like, for example, your bicep is a lot bigger, so you can't. And getting on the bar, the reason is your biceps comes in the fucking way.
Yeah. I've got to that point now in off season where basically just fitting through doors and getting on and off the toilet and, you know, just everyday tasks are just getting difficult again. I trained today and I did posterior session, did straight leg deadlifts for the first time in ages. The back pump after literally one work set was just stupid.
How did you? So actually, let's go on to that. So you're now, in fact, let me wind that back. So you have changed coaches.
Yes.
You left Tom.
I did.
And you're now with Nate Styles.
That's correct.
Care to elaborate on your situation and what happened there?
Yeah, so Tom had this felt wasn't on the ball, and I'd been talking about it with yourself and a few others for a few weeks, and I decided, right, it's time to manoeuvre. At the end of the day, you know, I do consider myself to be a high level now, and I need a bit more input from a coach. So I decided on Nate Styles after narrowing it down, just because obviously he's 6'3". He's 340 pounds and IFBB pro. So I wanted to see kind of his sort of protocols and his take on off season. And to be honest, up to now, he's been fantastic. He's well on the ball. What he's provided for me is brilliant. And I can't fault him at all. Obviously, I've only been coached by him I've not even done one check-in yet, but up to now, he's even checked it. He even checked in on me yesterday just to see how things were going midweek. So,
and that's all you can ask for. You know, it's funny, like, a couple of weeks ago, we did a podcast calling out a certain coach, which we actually took the name out of him at the podcast. And a few people like messaged me like, "Oh, who is it?" So I obviously said, and then they're like, "Oh, I thought you were talking about Tom." Like, a lot of people seem to think, we were talking about Tom. And Tom was, funny enough, like Tom was like looking at like my three stories, and I thought like he probably thought we were talking about him too, which obviously weren't the case, but like, I reckon he probably thought that too.
Well, I think what a lot of people fall into the trap of is thinking that because he's a big name coach, then you're automatically going to be getting the best service. And it's not necessarily the case. And I think a lot of the time these big coaches get too busy and they can't distribute their time correctly. And what's mad to me is someone of your level, Craig, how Tom wasn't more appreciative, or, you know, like thinking this is a good guy and there's a lot of mileage in him, so let's fucking go, you know?
Yeah. I'm sure he does think highly of me, but I just think his home life, he's got a lot on with his home life with him having a young kid now, and he should really have a ceiling on the amount of clients he's got, but I doubt that's the case. And when he takes more on, obviously it's more work, and then obviously everything just gets watered down. And I felt his check-ins were very rushed, and I had to go back to him several times to ask him questions on what he put in place. And that wasn't just off season, not that that's acceptable, that was during the Mr. Universe prep as well. So, you know,
and that's someone like
I did warn him on that. So,
and that's someone like yourself that arguably, like, you're a coach, right? You've got a lot of good athletes. You're a high level coach yourself. So if you are having to ask certain questions, they actually are like of warrant. They're not just like stupid questions of like, you know, like a lot of my like lower level sort of clients might ask.
Yeah.
They're actually questions that he's definitely missed something out in order for you to go back and have to clarify, you know? So
it might seem silly, the little questions that I had, but they were important because at the end of the day, it's a competition prep and every little 1% counts. You know, for instance, like he'd give me a couple of high days and he'd just say, right, add 600 grams of carbs on top of what you're eating today. And then that'd literally be it. No plan or anything. So I'd be like, well, are we doing insulin with that? Oh yeah, do insulin with that. I'm like, I shouldn't have to be asking the question. You should be telling me beforehand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Little things like that. Obviously, I know to ask that question, whereas other people probably wouldn't do because they're not experienced.
I mean, even just at the uni, he had quite a lot of clients there, didn't he? He obviously
Yeah, I think he had about
you
6 or 7. Yeah, 6 or 7, I think it was.
just in the tall class.
But,
He was doing
yeah,
damn well.
even James commented on it. He said he didn't feel like he gave me enough attention at the universe, considering, you know, I was his biggest client. Not, I mean, you know, I don't want to talk myself up, but considering I had the best chance of winning, he didn't really spend that much time with me.
So I remember on the day of the universe, or the day before, you told me a few of the things that I see. You know, I was just checking on you, seeing how you were and stuff, and hearing how he was. It was a little bit of a shock to me. I was
Yeah.
surprised at how he seemed almost a bit vacant, like he wasn't in the moment with you.
Yeah,
Very surprising to me.
yeah.
That's such an important show for you, with such a client with such potential.
You know, he even got off prior to the pro show. He didn't even watch the pro show.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he did ask me if it was okay, but I was just like, what am I meant to say to that?
Yeah.
He's fucking there. Like, you might as well.
I know, yeah. It's like an extra 20 minutes. I know it's a long day, but
Do you know what? Do you know what it comes down to? Is it you end up? This is what happened with me and Martin. I felt like I lost faith in him because he lost faith in me. So what I mean is, if Tom left, that would give the impression that he thinks, he's not going to do anything there.
yeah.
That's what I felt with Martin. I felt like Martin didn't value me. He didn't see me as someone who was like a front runner. You know, for example, Jordan Gomez.
Yeah.
Me and Jordan Gomez. It felt like Jordan's. I'll openly admit Jordan obviously has more potential than me, obviously, but I don't want to feel that way. I want to feel like I'm important to you.
Definitely.
And then at that point, my faith's gone.
Yeah.
And I think you lost your faith as well, maybe.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what I'll get now from Nathan. I feel like I'm important to him. He literally calls me Mr. Universe. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just fantastic. Whereas Tom, I just felt like I was just another client.
End of the day, we all pay the same rate. You know what I mean? We all you pay for a service, so it's like it doesn't matter if you're a first timer or if you're a Mr. Universe. You should still get that same amount of service.
Yeah, of course you should. Of course you should.
I had that conversation with the guy who we were talking about before. Again, I'm going to keep the name out. The coach that we were talking about on that episode, and the guy who he was coaching. He said to me in person, he said, obviously I'm not going to be as a priority. So, I accept that he's going to be a little bit slow on responses and stuff. And I was like, but hold on, how is that? Do you pay the same money as everyone else? And he's like, yeah. I was like, do you want to be a priority? He's like, yeah. I said, well, you deserve to be it then.
Yeah.
Like, if you're at a point
where coach, then.
Yeah, like if you're at a point where you're accepting that your coach isn't going to give you proper service, time to move on.
That's it. Exactly.
Time to move on. On that, and Chuddy, how are you getting on with Hilly as well?
Good, mate. Yeah, good. Like we talk. To be fair, we talk daily on like group chat where we don't really speak about the coaching bit. But yeah, I'm just kind of like dieting down a little bit at the minute. Training, everything's like spot on. It's one of them things. So you just get on with it. It's no magic.
Still chicken and rice 6 times a day.
Pretty much. But that's what I want, though.
Meat and rice. That's what
it's
all
just
about.
easy for me, It's just easy.
No, that's cool.
So
works.
I'm actually considering going with Nathan myself. I said to Amy the other night, I was like, is it weird? Because Craig's just going with Nathan. If I go with Nathan as well, she's like, oh. I was like, oh. I was thinking, because
you won't be disappointed. Yeah, Ryan, you won't be disappointed, honestly. The effort and the.
I made a short list and he was on it. And
have you still got that list? Have you shortened it? Have you like narrowed it down or
no? Yeah, I've still got it. There you go.
Or have you got ones that are like, yeah, or not that one, or
So I've got so the possible coach list is Calvin Hind, Jim Giorgio, Dan McNabb, Matt Tofton, Guy Harding, Sean Barber, Brian Ward, and Nick Starnes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nath does stand out to me on that list, to be honest. Now, I do like Brian as well, but I don't know. There's something that just stopped me going to him. Probably because we both had the same coach a few years back. We were both coached by the Giant, and yeah, it just seems like I'm already on his level. So it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. Just doesn't seem right for me to go to somebody that's
So no stars. What do you reckon for if I were to join as well? What would be you'd be encouraging of that? Do you reckon?
Yeah, I'd say go for it. To be honest, mate, I think he's obviously a humble guy, nice guy, and he knows his stuff as well. And what he provides as well. I think you'll be very impressed with. And and he's on it. He's very much on it. You know, if you've got a question, he'll answer it pretty damn quickly, and it's all through WhatsApp as well. So there's no email crap that some coaches provide.
Yeah, that was so I was also thinking about Sats, even though he's not on the list. But yeah, email communication is not appealing to me at all.
Yeah,
not at all.
Sorry, somebody just knocked on my door. Just a second.
That's right, mate. It's all right.
I think on the coach front, it's like anyone that's got a decent amount of knowledge, which most coaches are fairly good, right? The ones that you would
anyone on the list is
anyone that you would go with anyway. And from there, it's more who's going to give you the service and the attention. And you're not a baby, you know what I mean? You don't need fucking spoon feeding. But what you want is, right, if I need you, are you there for me? That's literally it.
Fucking, you nailed it, man. I think, as you say, all of them have got knowledge. That's a given. So we take that away from them. They've all got knowledge. I just need to know that I align with their methodologies and they give a shit about me.
Yeah.
If they're invested in me as well. So provide it, like, I'm not, as I touched on one of the other podcasts, if there's a coach and his methodologies are so far away from what I believe to be right, I'm not into it. So they need to align with me. Can I ask you this actually, Craig? Is Nath very, very big on like supplementation, as in like over the counter?
Fairly big on insulin and GH, I would say. So
he's talking about like health subs.
Oh, health subs. Yeah. He obviously wants to see your bloods. That was one of the first questions he asked of me. He said, "What your blood's like? Let's get a full panel." But I've already just done them, so I showed him them, and he was like, "Yeah, good to go." And yeah, obviously he's going to recommend that you do take health subs. It's a funny question, that actually. Why'd you ask that?
Because for some reason, I don't know, I've got it in my mind that Nath is very much about that.
No,
very much like, and to be honest with you, I don't really buy into that. Someone's okay. That was my impression.
Yeah, no.
The thing is, right? He's obviously sponsored by JP, so there's an incentive for him to push for you to buy certain supplements. However, he can't force you to buy them. They're like recommended supplements.
Oh.
But it's on you whether you want to buy them or not. Like, of course. Same thing with Hilly, because he is obviously part of the JP crew as well, right? So there's a thing where he's like, look, if you want to buy any supplements, that's my code, and these are the ones that I would go and use, right? And obviously, some of these guys, like Hilly, for example, he actually takes part in formulating a lot of these supplements. But it's on you whether you want to use them or not. A lot of that stuff, I think it's a load of shit, if I'm honest. Like, I know it's kind of like frowned upon to like say, oh, you know, but I'll be honest, I think a lot of these health subs, yeah, if that was actually something that worked, well, it wouldn't be over the counter. It would be a pharmaceutical fucking drug. You know, some fucking root they found in Africa, and it's like, oh yeah, that's gonna improve your like bollocks. Fuck off. I mean, they're just selling it. That's all it is.
Yeah, and I'm more towards that way of thinking. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they don't do anything, but I think to myself, if I join Nath and he's very big on that, and I'm just disregarding that,
what I suggest you do, just to clear it up with him, is just have a chat with him, just have a telephone call with him or whatever. But I think he'd be absolutely okay with your mindset on that. I don't think that would be a problem.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely in my mind a front runner. So yeah. I had a very brief conversation with Dan McNabb. I'm pretty close with him. And it wasn't a bad conversation, but it wasn't the conversation that I wanted.
Yeah.
Like he didn't seem thrilled about the idea.
Right.
Like if I like with you, Craig,
I think you'll get the absolute opposite vibe from Nathan if you spoke to Nathan. I think he'd be buzzing. He actually, Lewis Widgery, his client, got his pro card, didn't he, at weekend? And he was actually crying when he hugged Lewis. That shows how passionate he is. And he said he's done that quite a few times from clients winning. He's a passionate coach.
You know what? That feels great. I remember Martin used to do that. Martin, I remember when I won an overall, they FaceTimed him and he said, "Mate, look," and he had goosebumps all over his arms. Yeah. And he was like, "Mate, this is unbelievable." He goes, "Look." Yeah. Martin was really invested in me, but whatever. I won't get to that. Yeah. But yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah, he's definitely a
Yeah.
front runner for me. Definitely.
Yeah, I feel that's what you want from a coach, don't you? You don't just want to smile. You want some passion. Do you know what I mean? When you've done,
And a coach that isn't gonna do stupid random shit that you just think, why do that?
yeah,
You know, like quite a lot of these questions, like quite a lot of these coaches that are like, you know, they think they're selling you a better service by overcomplicating things that shouldn't be overcomplicated. That's what I like with Hilly as well, because he's like, it's just simple, basic shit. It's like you don't need to fucking overcomplicate. If we need to if you want to overcomplicate things, we can, but there's no need.
That's exactly so I just want, I said when you went to answer the door, Craig, I just want someone who's invested in me and I align with their methodologies. But then also, if anything, to go on what you just said, Dad, I want someone who's like a level head. I don't want someone who's making irrational decisions. I want someone.
What I actually loved about Nathan is the fact that he went out of his way to build a training program that was specific to my physique and what I needed to bring up.
Yeah, but that's normal though. Coaches should do that.
I don't think to do.
That's what I mean. You said you put in the group the other day. You said I made a video for me, and I think to myself, well, this is normal. This is what coaches should be doing.
Because like, I think Martin's training plans, they've been written by a fucking 5-year-old. It's like,
yeah, there was no individuality to me.
No.
Yeah,
like, you know, and a lot of that stuff, it's kind of like
who gives a 300-pound bodybuilder a volume like split with 30 to 60-second rest periods? Like, what?
You know what? And I obviously knew that I wasn't like blinded by it, but I thought I'll at least give it a go.
Yeah,
and I fucking hated it. Oh my god!
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what you don't want, a coach that's going to give you that sort of program.
Yeah, and I feel like, as I just said, like if I joined Nath and then didn't do a lot of the things he said, I feel like I'm like shortchanging myself, and that's what I felt with Martin. I thought, why am I joining him and then just going to the training? So I thought I'd give it a go, but I became weaker, and I became. I was really uninspired by my sessions. Every time I was in there, I was like, ugh.
I mean, I remember because you just signed up with him and you came down and trained with me, and you were like, "This is the session," and I was like, "Bro, I'm doing that session." And I just did like half of the sets.
Yeah, I did 4 and you did 2, right?
Yeah, I'm like, no way am I gonna fucking do all that fucking volume.
You did one of Louis' sessions once as well, didn't you? That Jimmy Tonka designed for him. With the
they were fucking idiotic.
10-second negative or something.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh man, yeah, I did like a
4-hour session.
I did a 3-minute bicep set, so I was literally like time under tension for 3 minutes. Like,
I'll get bored because it's funny. Like my mate was saying to me, "Oh, you wait now. Louis got a new coach." Like he was talking to one of like Louis' clients in the gym, and he was like, "You wait now. Like your training is going to change." He was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Louis got a new coach." So now everyone's going to be doing what? Because he goes like, I walk in the gym and everyone's fucking training in slow motion. It's like, and it's like now they're going to revert back to like wherever the fuck, like you know.
That's so funny. So many coaches do that, don't they? They just regurgitate what.
Yeah.
I said to Louis when he first started that training, I said, like, mate, I said, don't get me wrong, I don't like, you can do that, but I'm like, I'm not doing that, because he's like, you can try it if you want. I'm like, I don't want to try it. I said, no, I don't want to try it. I'd rather fucking start running than fucking do that shit.
Yeah. Well, as I say, things go full circle, and obviously Louis isn't with Jimmy anymore, and then he said he was thinking about going back to me again, which is weird because 2 years ago, if you had told me, I would have been like, bloody hell. The style of training that I gave him compared to Tom. When he first started, he was like singing his praises, and then 2 years down the line, he's like, no.
What's he back doing now? Is he back to like?
Yeah, well, he's actually doing the physique collective style, but like prioritizing big compounds.
Who's he actually with now?
Christian, coached by Christian.
He's coached by Nathan.
Yes, correct. Yeah. I don't know.
Would you sign up with a coach that you look at and you think, I'm not talking about Christian, I'm just saying.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. No, I'm not. No. Right, okay. Let's rephrase that. Let's rephrase that. Would you go for a coach that looks worse than you?
Well, I feel like I was a better bodybuilder than Martin. You were better than Tom.
No, but Right. No, but okay. If you're going for a bod coach who is a competitive bodybuilder in a way, or
Yeah, no. Yeah,
no,
if they're an active bodybuilder attempting to like go for a pro card, if I feel I'm better than them, there's no way I'm going to.
Yeah, I think that's probably what put me off going with Brian.
really.
Yeah.
Because see, I think, right, the way obviously when I went with Louis, I was thinking, well, he's not got the best physique, but it's not like I don't want to discount their knowledge. Same like obviously with Hilly as well. He's obviously been training for so long that he's got so much experience that I value that a lot more over, like, let's say going for someone like Sass, who's obviously a pro bodybuilder, but he might not be. He might not have been there like with on the coaching side of things for as long.
Well, this is the thing. Like sometimes people assume because they're a high level bodybuilder, they've got knowledge as well, and it's not necessarily the case because genetics come into it, right? You can be an incredibly good bodybuilder. God, sorry, mate.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say absolutely genetics. No, it's obvious, isn't it? There's many IFBB pro that probably coach that don't know jack shit, basically.
They kind of like they know the method they got them there because they got them there.
Yeah,
but that won't work for the 99% of the population.
Imagine being coached by Ronnie Coleman. Anything works.
Yeah, just do whatever you want, really.
Barbecue sauce on every meal.
Yeah. Chicken barbecue sauce and grits.
And that's kind of where I'm coming from. I think a lot of these coaches that are genetically like good bodybuilders, I think they got there because of their genetics a lot of the time. And yeah, obviously hard work. But I think a lot of the stuff that works on them probably won't work on someone with subpar genetics.
No.
This is the thing about genetics. When people talk about genetics, they go, well, I got here because of hard work, not because of genetics. It's like, well, no, your genetics allowed you to propel to that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, for example, like Phil Heath, he only knew that he had good genetics because he worked hard. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like people discount genetics. You don't just start. You don't just come out of the womb and you're fucking jacked already. Like genetics are your
basketball, wasn't he, before bodybuilding?
Yeah, did you see the way he looked?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like a little small bodybuilder, basically, wasn't it?
But what I mean is, like, yeah, like you have to work hard to realize that you've got genetics. You don't just know it, like just off the cuff.
Yeah.
If you've got
look at the best bodybuilding coaches, they're not the best bodybuilder. They're not the best bodybuilders. Even like take someone like Milos, for example. What did he win? Like one show, and he did like 200 fucking shows, didn't he? So
he was good, but not like elite.
Yeah. So even someone like him, yes, obviously he's a prime, right? But he's not like a top bodybuilder. Like he won one show out of like 200. So even himself, like, and most of the coaches aren't even pros that are like, you know, Acito and all these guys. They're not even pros, are they?
Yeah, I think they realize they get to a certain level, then realize that they're probably better off doing something else. Like Matt Jansen or something. He was pretty good, but like didn't quite have that extra edge, you know?
Yeah. When you look at like guys like Fuad, for example, a lot of the time it's like it's fucking bro science. Like bro science, it works, right? Yeah. But meaning that he's not really thought out when he kind of like has an argument. He just says, "Well, I did that because it worked for me," and it's like, right.
Yeah, the more I watched Bro Chat, the more I realized that about Fuad. He's very much like, it's like the basics and that's it. There's nothing else. It's just like,
He's quite big on fat intake, isn't he, Fuad? He likes to push his fats up really high. Whereas a lot of people, that is just not going to work for a lot of people. It wouldn't work for me, I know that for sure. That's for sure. It'd just scream my digestion.
And you just get fat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think most people would do. But yeah, there was one thing, for instance, actually that Sass does with a lot of his clients, and he tends to put, you know, like you'd usually put an oral in your pre-workout meal to boost your session. Well, he likes to split it up 50-50 between pre-workout and post-workout. And I asked the guy that was telling me about it, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't know why he does it. He just said it just works. It's just bro science, basically."
But sometimes something you can get a result, and then like correlation doesn't mean causation.
No.
Just because you did that doesn't mean that was the thing that made it work.
No.
Do you know what I mean? If he hadn't done that,
you probably can make an argument. But when you're talking about an oral, right? Most orals are what? 4 to 6 to 7 hour half-life. So whether you take a pre-workout or all at once, or you split it pre and post-workout, doesn't make a fucking difference.
Or if you just take it throughout the day.
Yeah, just take the first thing.
Just just take it throughout the day. If you're doing like 100 milligrams of Anavar, if you do like fucking just spit out through the day, you're fine.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't really buy into that one either, to be honest with you. But
I think orals for me anyway are basically only used in prep, and I think they should be used for at least maintaining strength through the back end of prep. I don't think they should be used as a hardener. I think it's.
Well, do you remember we were speaking about my orals, and obviously Louis was wanting to put him in really far out, and we were talking about this on a group, and all of you were like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
No,
and
no.
that was one thing I said
That's
to
just
Louis,
another stress
I don't
to the
really want to
body.
put.
It's just another stress to the body. Why would you
Yeah,
want to?
and there were quite a lot of them as well. Like he wanted to put like 3 orals in at the same time. I was just thinking,
No.
I think it should be used. What you just say, Craig? It should be used as a tool. Like so, if and when you start seeing a bit of a drop off in strength and performance, it can be a tool to add in then. But
Exactly.
other than that, I don't really see the need. Oh, by the way, but we were a little bit short on time today. So, did you get any good questions?
I didn't even look.
Have a little look. I got a few. Did you get any ones, Chad?
Yeah, I got a load, but obviously
any good ones?
We'll do the good ones. Yeah, that's what I said on the story. I'm like, don't ask stupid questions, like not stupid questions, but the questions that we've done 100 times before.
Here's a good one. Do you feel you was best on the stage in the tall class? Who's that come from? That's interesting.
Do you feel you were best on stage in the tall class? The fact that you won, yeah.
To be honest, without a shadow of a doubt, if I'm honest. Even looking back at the pictures, I feel like, yeah, absolutely.
Well, we were there in the crowd and you were 100% the winner.
Yeah, and everybody that actually spoke to me said I was as well. You know, there was nobody that has ever said that I wasn't.
Someone's winding you up, mate.
Yeah, it must be a wind.
I think
I hate it.
With a lot of that stuff, it's kind of like it's been and gone. You know, it's kind of like
it's like they just try to.
Yeah, I think end of the day, like it doesn't matter, like because you won. So whether even if let's say someone was better, well, the judges didn't think that, and that's the most important thing that matters. The judges, what the judges think, right? So
the result's a result, yeah.
Yeah, so and equally as well, it's like when people go, oh, like when they obviously don't get the result they want. And it's kind of like, well, the judges, well, yeah, but you put yourself in front of these judges. You sign up for that.
Very, very often as well, people will say, oh, I got fucked over. I tell you what, in person, when you go to bodybuilding shows, very rarely do you see really bad decisions. You might see one where it's like, maybe, but you don't. Can you honestly say you've seen someone be fucked over? You can count on one hand the amount of times that actually happens. It doesn't really happen.
Well, that's why you got a panel of how many judges is PCA? 4, 5?
More. Like 5 or 6, 5, 6, 7, something. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure at the uni, obviously, it's a big show. It's probably even more.
What I'm trying to get. There's usually a reason. So either someone's a bit off, or they went for condition over size, they went for size over condition, or something. There's usually a reason.
Like even if let's say one of the judges is biased, that score will get checked out.
Yes, if all of the judges say one thing and then one judge puts like guy came last as first, it's like.
But I think from our point of view, to kind of answer the question, you were the best on that stage because it's 100%. Like because there's no it kind of stood out because when you all walked out, it was kind of like we were all like me and Ryan looked at like all of us that were there and we were like, yeah, right, who's going to be second? And we start looking at everyone else. It was that simple. So
there was that one guy.
I kind of felt that on stage as well with being in the middle for pretty much the whole comparisons. I was moved out of the middle for 3 or 4 poses and then moved straight back in there. Yeah, I didn't quite believe it until my name was called out at the end, but I kind of knew in the back of my head that it was positive.
Yeah. And it was I think it was the confidence. I think what I got impressed by the most was the routine because it just looked it's like ever since I did mine and I was kind of like fucking it, that's hard, that's a lot harder than most people think. That was like really confident.
I think you have to show confidence on stage, and I remember Ryan did the same in his universe win as well. Like you just gotta
Yeah,
out.
look, Ryan. Right. Tell you what about Ryan. Ryan's routines are just boring. He comes out, he does like he hits like
Heavy
a couple of shots, walks around the stage, hits them, hits like shots. So yours was like proper like thought out, which that's really impressive. Ryan's just like comes out. Huh?
I thought of mine.
Did you? Well, for 2 seconds. Oh, you were like, I'm gonna wing it.
I did think a little bit. I did a little bit.
I remember a few most musculars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walk. I'm a bit dynamic. I walk to that side, walk to that side.
Yeah, you do. You walk out, you go on that side, the middle, the other side, and you just walk back and forth.
I think you have got to walk around the stage though, or it becomes a little bit boring if you just stay in the middle. I find it's just like you've got to do what you're talking about.
I don't know if it's that boring. I moved about a bit. A lot of people just go through the mandatory, stood in one spot.
Oh, that is boring.
Dynamism, you know.
Yeah,
I think it depends on your song, right? Because like Ryan normally poses to like metal songs that are quite dynamic, so it encourages movement. Whereas your song was kind of like beat, so you kind of had to.
Craig's was a metal song as well, but it would slow.
It was, but it only went into metal on the last 20 seconds. I found
when it first started, it was like a beat.
Yeah.
No, it's like I know where it goes, but I'm not going to do the impression. But it's like no, I can't even do it. But yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to.
You're dying to do the impression.
No. Well, I got my first question. It's a bit inflammatory.
What shots do you take?
What shots do you take?
Who's asked that? Bastard.
Let me
say. Yeah, you're neutral, yeah.
Because you two are like, and then we can then make an argument. But right,
you know what they always say though, like say how many shots is there? About 8?
7, yeah.
There's 12, including the quarter turns.
They don't really mark the quarter turns though, do they?
Yeah, do.
Do they?
That's because
I've judged. They do.
All right, do they? Right, okay. So how many?
That's because Ryan's like, yeah, they do. They're the most
important.
Because he takes the quarter.
So say you take the majority of the shots, do you win?
I don't really know if that's it necessarily, but
no,
it's more just like everything.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Yeah, it's not
so there's four quarter turns and 8 mandatories.
Yeah.
Go on, Chud.
So I'm going to go back to front. No, I'm going to go the easiest one. So the rear shots. I'm going to give Ryan the 2 rear shots.
Definitely lat spread.
Huh?
He definitely beats me on lat spread.
No, I'll give him both rear shots, right? I think I'll give you the most muscular.
Okay.
I'll give Ryan the front lat.
Really?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't actually.
I don't know.
It's weird. I've got bigger lats than Craig, but Craig's front lat is really good.
I know, but I just like the way yours flows with the arms and the whole structure.
I would personally give it to Craig.
Side chest, Craig, obviously.
I wouldn't give Craig the side chest.
Nah, because your chest is.
No, I honestly, I would give Craig front lat and me side chest personally. But anyway, Carol.
Front doubles is a tricky one because front double. I can't even call it. And I'll need to see it side by side. Huh?
It's a shit pose for us both.
Yeah, it's not the best for either of us, to be fair.
I'd give Craig the lower, but I'll give Ryan the upper, if that makes sense.
It's hard, isn't it, without seeing us side by side?
Yeah, oh yeah.
We've never done it both in shape.
No, that's it.
Never
peaked in shape, and yeah, it needs to be done.
Oh, we've never done it.
The ab thigh, I'll give Ryan the ab thigh. That's it, isn't it?
Side tricep.
Side tricep. Oh, I can't even think what Craig's side tricep.
I take Ryan on side tricep.
Huh?
I'll take him on side tricep.
I don't know if you
I'll give him side chest. I'll have side tricep.
Really? I thought your side chest is quite good because you've got a really good chest.
I have, but yeah, I think Ryan's got really good hamstrings, hasn't he? So that hamstring drop is.
Yeah, and they get like peeled.
I don't know. Yeah, Anyway,
Right,
move
let's
on.
go. Let's
Yeah,
go.
move on.
We got me do the next one.
Are we? I
Uh,
think we need more time to actually properly.
I mean, this one's a bit of a boring one.
Yeah. I think you beat Ryan on on the front line. That's yeah. All right.
yeah, go on, Craig. What you got?
Yeah, I don't know if it's how to treat acne on cycle if you have any proven methods. Now, I got asked this by a client the other day, and he wanted to use Accutane, but I believe it's quite bad in terms of side effects. You know, you shouldn't just be jumping on that. So I actually suggested high dose vitamin B5. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, whether you've ever had a client that suffered with acne and what you've.
I would honestly go to looking at your dosage. I think I would go straight to the source. Yeah, I would say, you know, you're potentially using something that doesn't agree with you, or you're potentially using a lab that doesn't agree with you. So the carrot oil within the lab that they use. So
true.
Yeah,
it could also potentially to do with diet.
Normally, what are we looking for? DHT is what causes acne. So all of the kind of like primal male characteristics, like deepening of the voice, hair growth, hair loss, acne, all these things that when you go through puberty, that's what that's caused by DHT. So elevation in dihydrotestosterone. So any DHT base, and not so much DHT derivatives, but DHT derived by testosterone. So testosterone as it derives from testosterone, right? Because testosterone will convert into DHT via the 5-alpha reductase. So what that means is lower your testosterone dosage. That will be my first call of action.
What would you say then if someone was only using like 250 tests?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I would then say make sure you're switching to more frequent shots. So then either daily shots or maybe if you're doing twice a week, start doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or every other day, because then you've got less of a spike. Because again, like if you can, let's say, I don't know, 250 mgs at once, you've got a lot more conversion into DHT.
Yeah, you do find that, don't you? When you go from a blast to a cruise, you kind of break out a little bit with a few spots.
That's because of the drop.
Yeah,
that's because of the
off of the androgens, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but typically there's a lot of things you can do with your cycle, but cycle design before you start resorting to supplements.
Yeah.
Right,
But
next one.
But definitely stay away from Accutane as a first
oil.
call.
Like the carrier oil as well. If you can get MCT is good.
It's funny actually because I bought some testosterone from Morocco, and it started giving me that prickly feeling on my skin. I don't know if you've had that before, and I think that's from the carrier oil.
I think so.
Maybe when I get sweaty and a bit hot, I kind of get that prickly feeling on my skin. I don't know if you've had it before.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, but I do think it's definitely from that. Because
if you suddenly change from, let's say, one lab to another, that could be because you could just get a reaction to the carrier.
I use Adelphi for everything else.
Yeah,
I can only think it's that.
Right, next question.
Yeah, I barely had any others. I think they've all come from the app.
Who is last man standing in a street fight? Craig, Peter.
I think so. There's a couple of different angles you can take that. Right, you lot have the size on me, so that means like if I get caught by one of you, that's it, right? But arguably, I might be faster. But I'm not faster because I'm a fat fuck. So
you'll probably last longer as well. Because
So me and Craig will gas out quicker.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Right.
I'm saying that though, would you? Because I say you two are like 300 pounds, but you're also 4 inches taller than me. So technically, in proportionally, I don't know if that would stand.
Right. So I'm going to back myself. Right. Here's why. Chudley, I'm bigger. I'm going to fuck you up. Okay. And Craig, you are nicer than me. I think you're more of a
no. Say you're pissed off.
To be fair, I can only punch with one arm as well because I've got a foot left shoulder.
Oh shit! There you go. I think Craig's more like introverted than what I am. I think Craig, you're a bit more calmer than me.
No. Let's say we're
human.
Yeah, you're like.
All right, okay.
So we're all on a gram of trend.
Fucking pissed off, right? If Craig's really pissed off, someone's like taking his protein shake or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I've got to back myself in this one, I reckon.
Yeah. You've
If
always
we
got to
look
back
in
yourself.
like the angle of like strength, I'd say Ryan is probably the strongest of us three, so he'll probably take that.
So, yeah.
So in like a wrestling type scenario.
All right. Then, so if it's down to brute strength, I reckon I can just about take it.
Yeah.
Right, move on. Who are each one of your nemesis on the circuit or in life? You wouldn't even know it, and you think that doesn't make sense. Come on, we all have one. So who's your nemesis? I know yours is Craig.
And who would that be?
Certain man who came fourth.
Oh, well, I can't go against him anymore, so he's not my nemesis anymore.
Oh, yeah, true.
Still amateur.
No, I don't think anyone's got a nemesis. You got a nemesis?
No, there's not anybody that.
I wouldn't even say that. Like, I think people tend to like take things like too personal. I like if I don't like someone, I just don't speak to them. You know.
Definitely, I don't really hate anyone. Like
Back in the day, though, that would have been different. Back in the day, I would have been like, "Fucking go for it," you know. But now I'm like, I'm a lot more chilled out. I don't give a fuck.
Reason for leaving Tom. Already said that.
Yeah.
That's it. That should be the name of the podcast. Like, why did Craig leave Tom?
Yeah. That is probably
That would be.
We get some clicks, to be fair.
Oh yeah.
Right. I can guarantee you a Mr. Olympia title. You die in 5 years. Would you do it?
No.
Not a chance. Not
Fuck
a chance.
no.
What was the question before?
5 years? Can I not give him longer? Yeah.
The question before was why did he leave Tom?
No. The question we got last time: guarantee a Mr. Olympia, but you have to.
What about 30 years?
No, it was would I kill you to win Olympia?
Oh yeah, that's.
And I was like, yeah, of course I would.
Yeah. No. I tell you what, Craig. Let's ask you that question. Would you rather cheat on your girlfriend 2 days out, or what was it?
Yeah.
Or
so 2 days out from a show, cheat on your girlfriend or cheat on your diet?
That should be a question we should make like a standard. Anyone that comes on.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I think I'd get away with cheating on my diet 2 days out because we
said that.
Yeah. If you're in shape enough, you can sort of get away with it, right?
Yeah, and I always am in shape, so yeah.
Do you guys worry about your health long term?
Yeah. That's always that. When people say that, it's almost like it's a bit of a stupid question because it's like, look, we are probably healthier than most of like normal people.
So the only thing, what I would say is not even so much steroid use, but it's about how heavy we are.
Yeah.
Like I think our body weight is a real problem long term.
Yeah.
Like as soon as people retire, what's one of the first things they do? You could say, oh, they come off cycle. Yeah, sure. What else do they do?
Yeah,
they downsize.
Yeah. But also, you got to remember, like we spend at least 4 months of the year in a lower body weight, which for us that's like lower body weight to us relatively.
But then
but it's still high, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
it's still high, but
low body weight for me and Craig is 250 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're 250, we think we're fucking small.
I know, but that's still relatively like for you, that's your new set point.
Yeah, but if we weren't bodybuilding, what's the actual set point? It's more like 200 pounds, isn't it?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter because if you do your blood work, funny enough, I did my blood work like 4 weeks out in prep. My blood work came out fucking perfect.
I did mine 12 days post Mr. Universe, and mine came out better than ever.
I know, it's bad,
generally
it's like,
to do with my body weight.
I think the body adapts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had mine done pre-prep and then about 6 weeks out, and mine was better 6 weeks out. I'll put it on my YouTube. I'll put my results.
That goes to show how inflammatory food is, doesn't it? And the high body weight.
100%.
Yeah.
How oversaturated is the coaching market? It seems like all bodybuilders, no matter what level, do it. Does the cream rise to the top?
Yeah, it's way oversaturated. People are now coaching that shouldn't be coaching. I don't think.
What are they though? Do you not think a lot of people just blowing smoke and they're not actually have got barely any fucking clients and just make it out like they do?
Yeah,
Make
yeah.
it out like they're busier than they are.
Yeah, everybody starts out somewhere, but at the end of the day, you know, you are going to eventually get somewhere with it if you advertise enough, and then it snowballs from there, doesn't it?
I agree. If you've still got another job, that means it's obviously not going that well.
Yeah.
If
But then
you
it
know, what I mean,
depends
if
how
you're
much time you're putting into it as well.
yeah, if you're still got your normal day job and then you do it on the side, like clearly it isn't going that well. I know I absolutely do not worry for 1 second about coaching because I've been doing it so long now. Same as you, well, actually all of us. Actually, newcomers doesn't bother me at all because you know what you offer is a good service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't even
as long as your level of service doesn't drop, then you're always going to have, you know, a level of clients that's going to see you through.
And there's more and more people getting into it, which means more and more people want coaching. So
yeah. I think what tells you are a good coach is when you get clients returning to you because they realise that, you know, they're not. You think about the amount of coaches they could go to, and they end up coming right back to you. It's like, well, my service is obviously good, and it worked for them.
Louis.
yeah, exactly that. Like they think the grass is greener, but then
why didn't you take him back on? Because you said you wouldn't take him back on.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, I wouldn't take him back on. I feel like I like just being his mate.
Yeah.
I think too much has happened now.
Yeah,
I'm content just being his friend. To be honest with you, just let it go.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna have to wrap it up because we've got to go to one more.
One more. Make it a good one.
I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily that good, but it's okay. Death row, cheat meal, 3 courses, a side and the main drink. What do you have?
Oh, I got a better one.
Yeah, go on. If you got it, yeah.
A better one. Or a good one I got is who's your favorite porn star? Your favorite porn star. Let's go. Right, Craig, you're first.
Oh, I've got no sex drive. I don't watch porn anymore.
but you've got to have one at least.
Try to think there is a few.
Well, we'll let you think. Like Ryan, you got like a top 5 list. I bet you got like a top 5.
I don't know their names, mate. I'm not like I don't like. What have you got? A top 5? Come on, hit me with it, and I'll see if I know.
No, not top 5. Not a top 5, but I got like a top favorite porn star.
Go on.
Do you know Angela White?
She's a bit chubby.
No, she's not.
Yeah, she's chubby.
No, I mean she's like. Hold on.
You're a chubby chaser.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, she's a bit fat. If it's the one I'm thinking about, she's from Australia.
No, she's not.
Oh, everyone getting the wrong one then.
You know what? I'll be honest, right? I don't know that many porn stars, probably because I prefer watching amateur porn. You know,
you're a
yeah, right. But
I don't like the pre-set.
Yeah, you're a YouPorn kind of guy where people upload their own shit.
Yeah. I prefer that shit, mate. It's realistic, isn't it?
You don't like a bit of a production value, you know?
Nah. I did used to like bend over.
She's fat. Get a body shot. Get her whole body.
Yeah.
See? Come on, Craig. Is she fat?
Yeah.
See?
No, she's not great. She's all right.
You lot don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, come on, bro. She's fat as fuck.
Right. Who's your favourite then?
I don't know.
What are you watching? Fucking anorexia?
Now listen. Do you know what's weird? And this is a fucking weird thing to say. I recognise dicks. Right? So when you see a guy, you know, like there's certain.
That's so fucking weird. You know, when we were sat at the PCA show, and the missus was like, "Who was it? She said about
Oh yeah.
Someone at the PCA, like one of the judges.
Was it the bald head?
Yes. And she's like, that looks like so and so.
We both knew.
And I was like, who? And Ryan goes, yeah, he does, doesn't he? I was like, fucking hell.
Oh, what's his fucking name? But anyway, yeah, it's so weird, but I recognise dicks. Like when you know you can only.
She just texts me.
Johnny Sins. Yeah, see. But I see him fucking the girl, and I can't even see the bloke, and I see his dick, and I recognise his dick. Now, I don't know if that makes me gay, but yeah, that's
weird. I never look at the bloke. I never
Hold
want.
on a minute. I can't help but see the dick because it's going in the fucking.
Have you never watched the bend over stuff?
Of course, I've watched Ben Over. He's an old fucker, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what? I
it's
always feel
funny the
sorry for
fact
them.
that he's like 50 odd and he's fucking these like 20 odd year olds.
Bro, I always feel sorry for the girls when they're like sucking his dick. I'm like, oh,
But they're loving it though, aren't they?
because they're getting paid.
Yeah.
You know what? They probably don't even get paid that well, though.
I don't think they will do.
I don't think they get paid that well.
They must have like the ability just to switch up. Because imagine earning your money by sucking a load of old guys' dicks. You got to be able to switch up. You know what I mean?
Do you think they're actually getting paid for it though?
What, porn stars?
Well, like bend over stuff,
Yeah.
like gold stuff. I thought it was just like people would write to him and just say, "Oh, can we film?" Or
You
whatever.
reckon?
I don't know.
Oh, that'd be interesting. That could be the title of the. That could be the thumbnail. Does Ben Over pay his women to fuck?
Nah,
I
he
mean,
probably
He's
don't
dead
get paid
now
that
as well.
well.
Is he still alive? Or is
Hold
he
on.
dead?
There's no way he is that desirable. The girls are just queuing up and fucking.
I don't know because they got to fuck his mate as well, didn't they? That Pascal.
No, but people.
The fact that you know his name is the best.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone knows Pascal. He's like Pascal subslut.
I don't know. I don't know Pascal.
Yeah, you know Pascal.
Yeah, you
Who
do.
the fuck is Pascal?
Bro, Pascal subsluts. How can you not know that?
What the fuck are you on about?
Yeah.
Right, I don't feel so weird recognizing dicks now. Right, Pascal.
And he fucking like does like bondage shit on him and like abuses him.
Pascal. Oh, I can't see it. I got fucking.
You got parental on.
I got fucking parental. I can't even see anything.
Oh, Amy's locked you out.
Yeah, I think so, mate. Oh, that is so gay knowing his name, Pascal.
That is bad, isn't it?
That's like
You know
what? A name just came to my head actually. Nikita Denise.
I'm gonna look that up
Go
now.
on, have a look.
That was about 10 years ago though. Maybe not watching.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Would you go and get her up?
I am. Hold on.
Czech girl or Czech woman.
Oh, is it?
Looks a bit like Angelina Jolie.
Funny.
You know, a lot of the guys that do gay porn are actually straight.
I've
Apparently.
heard that. It's better money, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, why though?
Could you do that for money though? Gay porn?
Depends how much money.
Right.
Depends what I'm gonna have to do.
And it depends how good looking the bloke is. I'm joking.
Yeah.
Joking, but not.
Yeah. I mean, if he was really ugly, it'd be harder, wouldn't it, to be honest?
Yeah.
All right, boys. Is that her, Craig?
I can't see it. You're on screen. Chud, talk.
Can you
Try
see
to
it?
talk.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's better than Angela White. She's
Yeah,
better
she's
than the chubby girl.
Oh nah.
She's
All right,
hot.
boys. I'm gonna have to wrap it up there.
Right, guys.
Right.
Thank you very much, mate.
Yeah. Good to
Have
see
a good
you.
evening. Cheers, boys.
Later.
Catch you later.